Dreadlock maintenance, tidy up, flyaways, loose hair, what can you do? Another hugely popular technique in the world of dreadlocks is palm rolling. But what is it and why does it help? Well, stick around and I'll share with you the hows, whys and wheres of palm rolling. Hi and welcome to Dreads UK. If you're new here and you are watching on YouTube, remember to click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can stay updated with all this great content. And if you're a returning subscriber, you know we love you. Welcome back. Palm rolling is as the name suggests. You place a dreadlock between the palms and roll it, exactly as you would if you were rolling a rolling pin, flattening out some pastry. And so if you're looking for perfectly straight dreadlocks or just looking to straighten them out a little bit, you've come to the right place. But why? When should this be done? And how do you know you're doing it right? So let's start with why. What's it for and what's it not for? Palm rolling is done with the aim of giving a more consistent look to the dreadlock, particularly to help keep them straight. Also, if you've seen our video Bends and Kinks in Dreadlocks, you'll know that it can be used to correct issues with dreadlocks as well. It mainly helps for the overall texture of the dreadlock. Palm rolling isn't a technique to deal with loose hairs, although it does offer some slight advantages. I'll come back to that at the end. It does, however, keep them looking tidy, especially if you need to look particularly smart. So how does it work? If you've ever played with Play-Doh or plasticine or rolled a sausage shape out of some pastry, that's essentially what's happening. But the reason it works with dreadlocks is because it's to do with movement within the knots. When the hundreds of thousands of knots within the dreadlock are compressed and then decompressed, this movement in all the knots of tightening and positioning will tighten and loosen the knots as you're rolling. This movement will cause the knots to tighten up and position. This is the natural maturity process that often takes years to fully mature or lock. But with palm rolling, we have the ability to speed up this process and manipulate its result. As dreadlocks are maturing completely unaided, they naturally develop loops, bumps, even kinks like this one. This happens when a dreadlock isn't fully locked and there's a lot of space within the dreadlock for the knots to move. As they mature, the dreadlocks shrink and fill that empty space. But even if your dreadlocks weren't made in a salon or just developed naturally, palm rolling can help any unwanted loops, lumps or bumps. And this is best done when the hair's wet, and after a shower when the hair is drying is ideal. The elasticity of the hair allows the hair to stretch. With all the hair holding increased levels of moisture, the hair is so much more pliable. And this is great because it means we've got more overall control. Also, when dreadlocks are very young, within the first 2 years of their life, they're a lot more susceptible to change. If you want perfectly consistent, perfectly straight dreadlocks, then early on is really important to start that maturing process with palm rolling. The earlier in the dreadlock life you start palm rolling, the more chance you've got of a consistent straight dreadlock. And even more likely if you do it after each shower until they're dry. So let's start with the first phase in the dreadlock's life and palm rolling. Starting to palm roll when dreadlocks are first made after every shower will almost guarantee that you won't get any lumps, bumps, kinks or loops. You only need to palm roll at short intervals as the dreadlocks are drying, and you don't need any products to do this. The need and frequency to palm roll becomes less frequent as the dreadlocks get older, but right at the beginning of the dreadlock journey you'll see huge advances each time you palm roll. Once they're palm rolled and you're happy with the shape, you can let them dry. But just don't tie them up or sleep on them while they're wet, because this will counter the process. As dreadlocks mature, they'll become more stubborn. This is because they will have loosened and tightened so much over the maturity process that the hair's found its own settling position already. This is when we consider the term locked. During the maturity process, palm rolling will aid the shape that you mould them to. When dreadlocks are fully mature, palm rolling can still help, but will have less of an impact as newer dreads. At this stage, it's only the overall general shape that will be affected. It may help very slightly with loops, lumps and bumps, just so they'll become less exaggerated, but it will be less likely to completely mould them out, taking them back to a perfect shape. Are there any risks to palm rolling? Well, no, not really, but always be mindful of the scalp. If you twist the dreadlock round too far, it's going to put a lot more strain on the scalp pulling on it. Equally, if you're pulling your dreadlock down as you're palm rolling, that's going to add strain on the scalp also. It's always good to avoid putting the scalp through any unnecessary stress. Palm rolling when done dry doesn't really offer any benefit at all. Perhaps a very slight short-term contribution to brand new dreadlocks, but nothing really lasting. So can palm rolling help loose hair? Now while you're palm rolling, it may be that the few odd hairs get caught up in it and pull it into the dreadlock, so it may help on a very slight scale, but nothing particularly noticeable. But at Dreads UK, we're always pushing the boundaries to advance and inspire new styles and cultivation. One product we have is the lock-in spray. One of the best times to use this product is straight out of the shower. While your hair is still wet, give it a spray down and then palm roll. Now palm rolling needs no product to be effective, but you can use the lock-in spray to speed up this process even faster. Using the lock-in spray at this stage will tame most of those loose hairs. The product is based on a sea salt spray, but modified by our team to enhance those effects for a more flawless finish. And yes, that does include the loose hairs. Now dreadlocks are a personal journey and products are not for everyone, just like palm rolling is not for everyone. There are no rules. Just style, inspiration and design. So have fun creating, experimenting and be inspired. So what are your palm rolling experiences? Have you experienced any issues? Do you agree with this or maybe you disagree? Maybe you've got a point you're just burning to get off your chest. Well, let us know in the comments. We're always happy to hear from you and support your journey. I hope you found that video helpful. There's a ton of free content from our professional dreadlock course, all released on our Dreads UK YouTube channel. And for any dreadlock products you could possibly need, whether that's for home or for your salon, head on over to dreadsuk.com.